Happy Thursday, everybody. Thank you so much for downloading or streaming the Be Our Guest podcast. Today, we have the replay from Sunday night's live call-in show. That was Sunday night, June 29th, 2025. Scotty G joins me, and we took your calls for the hour, and we talked some Princess 2026 registration with a big shout out to the Be Our Guest podcast Lizards for coming together to get most everybody signed up for the race. And we talked about which tours to take when this coming year, Keys to the Kingdom and the Wild Africa Trek. Ian calls in and gets us more excited for our cruise on the Disney Magic next week because she just got back from that exact same itinerary just a couple of weeks ago. And we talk with Chet out in Utah about his challenge that he did with both parks out at Disneyland and just came up shy, 3 or 4 attractions short. This and much more coming your way on today's show. Don't forget, today's podcast always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney vacation for no additional cost to you. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Just click through there when you do your online shopping. And thank you to our Patreon supporters. You guys make the show possible. We could not do this without you. You can support us as well, just $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this week. We'd sure love to have you. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the BOGP Open Line for Sunday night, June 29th, 2025. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Hope you're having a great weekend. We're here for the next hour taking your calls at 407-584-7173, 407-584-7173, and joined by my co-host, my buddy. He's the proprietor of Must See Adventures over on YouTube. And this time next week, we'll be sailing the Disney Magic, chugging our way towards the Bahamas. Scotty G, what's going on? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, Mike. This is a great Sunday, but not as nice as next Sunday.
Exactly. I know.
Man, we've been counting down the Sundays. And we are there. We are just about there. This is pretty awesome.
And you'll get to go down ahead of me. You head down on Wednesday. So as this show releases on the feed, you'll already be at Walt Disney World. I head down bright and early Saturday morning. So I get to kind of live through you for the first few days of your vacation.
That's always kind of fun when you're the one, right?
Yes. You're up. You're up first.
I'm up first. And I'll be up last too. Like that, I'm being cruel, but you were at GO82 sending me like FaceTiming me and sending me all that stuff.
That is
too,
true.
So, that is true.
That is true. So let everybody. So you're staying at Boardwalk when you go down Wednesday. I'm joining you on Saturday at Boardwalk. I'm excited for the one night that we get there. Told Pam, hopefully we can do a little night swimming in the pool at Boardwalk. We're going to be going to Splitsville on Saturday, meeting up at 2:00. Doing a little, it's 2:00, right? Make sure I'm saying that right.
I was hoping to get that information from you.
I think it's 2:00. So check the Discord.
I'm going to Animal Kingdom that morning, so I'll have to run through my lightning lanes quick.
Yeah.
So I can make my way over there.
I think it's 2:00, but don't hold me to that. I got to check the details. I'm terrible on details because I'm just terrible at that. But it's around 2:00. We'll have a meetup. If you're coming, just double check the details over on beourguestpodcast.com/Discord. Just go into the channel for the cruise, and Trisha will let you know. She's in charge of all this, but we are having a meetup at Splitsville on this Saturday afternoon, and we're going to do a little bowling, a little hanging out, and then we're having dinner over at the new Mexican place at Rosa Mexicana. Can't wait for that.
They do not have fajitas, and Emily is not happy about that.
Okay, well, but they have this thing for 2. I looked at the menu. I peeped it out, right? And it kind of looks like fajitas. Like
I saw that too. Yeah,
dude, expensive. It was like $70 or something, but it kind of seemed like it was fajitas, but without like the wrappers, like without the tortillas. Yeah, it was a bunch of meat and it's like veggies, and it seemed like rice and beans. I mean, It was like they didn't want to take
the like variations of guacamole too.
Oh yeah, we're getting that, dude. Because Pam used to work at a place where they did tableside guac, and she always talked about it. I've never seen tableside guac, but I want to make this happen. So I got to see, avocados flying, apparently.
I've only done tableside guac at a couple places, and do you know what one of the places was Tortilla Joe's at the old downtown Disney.
I never got to
in
see
Anaheim.
that. I never got to see that. But you went to like a media event there, right?
I did.
Yeah. See, you got to do a media.
That was
event.
funny.
That's right.
I went to a media thing, and I brought Georgia, our friend Georgia from Georgia. I always have to say that.
From Texas.
Yeah. And what was funny, we had a reservation at like Ralph Benner's or whatever the jazz kitchen like across the street. And like they would not like seat our party until we showed up. So we were just scarfing down all this Mexican food, like having a great time drinking margaritas, and then we and Georgia was like, all right, time for dinner round 2. Because then we just walked 20 steps to our next dinner place.
Where was Tortilla Joe's at downtown Disney? Because I never got to
so
go
you went there once though.
Oh no, that's the place where we met when I first. Oh yeah, that's
was the first place we went. Yeah,
that place was good. I liked it. Yeah, that place was gigantic.
Good. And then then it shut down shortly after that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I was there. Yeah. So what? You were there for like a grand opening or something?
No, it was actually through Ricky. It was like spicy guacamole day or something. and Georgia and I were down there for like the Avengers race weekend or something. And she's like, "Hey, can you go down there and like check it out for me?" I'm like, "Yeah, we'll go down there and do that."
I miss my calling. All right. Fun. I see that Ian, our friend, is in the chat. I'm going to ask.
She just did our cruise itinerary.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to ask her if she would please call in and just give us some hints, because she's been posting some awesome stuff on Instagram. She's great at like making reels. She did one about the Palo, like first day they went to Palo, and I saw that. And we're going to Palo twice. We're doing brunch.
They did like the wine thing over there. I
think. Yeah, was it the dessert thing? Yeah, the wine thing. Yeah. So hang on, let me open the phone lines. So 407-584-7173. Let's open up the phone lines. I have a couple games we can play, a couple things I want to ask about. But I see Ian's here, and I don't want to hold her up. But if she would call in. Just because this is selfish, but I just want to get Jazz for the cruise. And she just did our itinerary on the Magic. That would be awesome. So hopefully she can give a call and we can see if we can do that. So let me answer this one here. And let's see here. Got to push all these buttons now. All right, here's our first caller. Hayes joining us. Oops, hang on. Hello, caller. Who's there?
Hi, Mike. Hi, Scott. This is Marcy from Chicago.
Hey, Marcy, what's going on?
Not too much. I was just calling. I wanted to give a huge shout out to the Discord and Joe, because they helped us so much with Princess registration this past week.
Yes, that was a hot mess. I was watching that on the treadmill because I wasn't signing up, but I was watching it as I was walking with my iPad. And the whole new system failed. Well, failed a lot of people. The lizards kind of got through for the most part, but yeah, that was a mess.
It was especially helpful. The group of friends, we're all friends from undergrad, and we were actually in Mexico together. And so I had spent the days before finding the good Wi-Fi spots and everything, and we had our plan in place. And then I luckily had the Discord open, and obviously the website was crashing and everything, but we all got in. 3 people wanted the challenge, somebody wanted the half, and then I needed to sign up for the 5K because I had already signed up for the challenge through my Perfect link the week before. So it was just nice to be together when the panic set in, but then also have the Discord there to support us. So I was just really grateful for that community.
I know it's great that it's not just teams like, meeting in the parking lot in the middle of the night before the races, but it's teams when, because we've talked about this many times. A lot of times the most stressful part of a race is the registration, not the actual event itself. And it's cool to have a team that has people with different skill sets. And let me just say, Joe has a unique set of skills that is very useful for the rest of us. I don't know how he figures out what he does, but I don't ask questions. And so,
the longest time we had was 17 minutes. And I've never seen anything like that before in any of the registrations we've done. So it was a huge relief. And then we could go back to relaxing in paradise.
Yes. So let's kind of keep this on the down low and just say, Joe, you did good, and move on.
Yeah. So we're really looking forward to it. And when we did Princess this past year, we did a capture your moment photo shoot afterwards with the entire group and all the medals. And I cannot recommend that enough. If you have a group, it's extremely affordable. They let, I think it was 8 of us, do this photo shoot with all our medals, all in front of the castle. They had it beautifully like roped off and set up. And we're definitely going to be doing that again. It was incredible.
That's a great idea. Dan, did you bring any, besides your medals, so any like just your medals, or did you bring any, like, do any certain outfits? Was it the race shirts or anything, like any advice for folks that might do that?
So we did, since everyone for that particular trip did the 10K, we wore our 10K shirts. This coming year, I'm sure we'll do the half marathon shirt because that's what the race everyone will be doing. There was another woman next to us that had clearly done, I don't know if she'd done a perfect season, but she had all her medals. She had a little dopey plush, all these things. Her setup was pretty significant, and they were so patient with us. And they send 2 photographers, and I'm convinced it's because people were trying to like queue up and be like, how do we get this photo? And like one photographer's full-time job seemed to be telling people, you have to sign up for this. You can, do it through the website and everything. So it was a really, really fun experience.
Well, that's awesome. Cause I know you guys run all the races, and I'm so glad. I mean, especially with you being out of the country and, being on, vacation and all that it all worked out, because I can tell you, I saw, there was, I can't remember her name right now, but one of the lizards did not get in, and she was extremely disappointed. I saw that in the group, and it just broke my heart that it didn't work out. And it's just, it worked out for most everybody, right? Most everybody got in, but when somebody doesn't get in, I get, I've thought about this since then. It's almost been a week, and it's just, there are opportunities to maybe get in through a charity, but it is, you got to make donations, you got to raise money. There's a lot of hoops to jump through, but maybe it's just for this one race weekend. But I'm so glad a majority of folks got in, and it's because we pulled together as a team. So I'm glad you're acknowledging Joe and the whole team, because everybody jumps in there, and because there's a lot of people in there that aren't even registered, and they're just in there on that morning just to help. And I love seeing that. Yep.
Yeah. And we've tried to do that too when we're not registering, but yes, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody, and just call in, and very excited. And we have a trip coming up around Labor Day, so we might call in sometime later and kind of get your opinions on, actually, I guess our window opens July 3rd. So real quick, if I can ask your opinion of our plan, we want to do some tours this trip or the December trip. And I just want to confirm that you think my plan is the correct plan. Because it's going to be so hot around Labor Day, I was thinking Keys to the Kingdom tour at the Labor Day trip, and then save like the Wild Africa trek for the December trip. Does that sound logical?
Scotty G.
Yeah, that sounds a lot logical. Yeah. I think
okay.
Animal Kingdom, like in December, sounds a lot more comfortable.
Yes,
for sure. So I like where you're thinking.
Yeah, that's the way to go. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm that. I think our window opens on July 3rd, so I thought that was probably the way to go, but just wanted to double check with the experts.
And Keys is awesome. You're gonna love that tour. It's so cool. Yeah. I've done it twice. That's how cool it is. Like, I had to do it again. It was that fun.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. Well, I won't keep you. Thank you so much. And we'll be in touch soon, I'm sure.
Good talking to you. And if you see my daughter, if you see my daughter running around the big city, tell her I said hey.
I will.
All right, see you later. Bye-bye.
Right, bye.
And have some Portillos for me. All right, let's see here.
I want to run Princess. I love that race weekend.
Dude, for a hot second, I almost signed up because I was watching, and I was like, because it was like everybody had the chances to get in. I was like,
I didn't even know. I honestly didn't even know it was. I had a really busy work week, so I didn't even know.
I know. I was like, I can't spend that money. I was like, I just can't spend that money. All right, let's do this, and hit this, and we have our next call. Hey, who's joining us?
Hey, Mike, are you there?
I'm here. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Mike and Scott, this is Ian. How are you?
Good. We got to hear about the cruise. You've been killing it on Instagram, and I've been eating it up. So, oh my gosh, I'm dying right now. I'm ready to go.
Well, I've been wanting to call you guys, and it's like, 7 o'clock comes and goes. I'm like, oh, I meant to call Mike. And, so now I know I had to call you tonight because you leave in a week. So yes. I'm so excited for you guys.
Oh, I'm excited for us too.
We're excited for ourselves too.
100% excited for us.
Well, you should be. And I heard you're going to stay at the boardwalk, which, Mike, you actually booked the cruise for my friend Julie, who I cruised with, and we stayed at the boardwalk. We stayed on her DVC points for 2 nights before the cruise. So I was like, oh, that's exactly what we did. So, yeah, I would love to share. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
So just give us because you guys did Palo. You did Palo on your first night. Is that not what you did?
Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting call when I saw that. I was kind of surprised because I always kind of like to get to know my weight team, my serving team that first night. So
I know.
Did that work out for you guys, or how was that? I mean, that decision of first night, because I cruise a lot.
It worked out really well.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. So Julie, I have a 17-year-old son, like Mallory. And I have 2 older boys, but they didn't go on the cruise with me. It was just me and my son, my youngest son. And he doesn't really care if he's with me or not, to be honest with you. But
Sounds
Julie
like
has 3 kids, and she actually does want to dine with them and we had the later dining. So she was like, you know what, Palo the first night is a no-go because I want to sit every night with my kids and have dinner, and I want to meet the dining team. So actually what we found, though, was there's this dining experience called Prima Notte, which in Italian means first night. And it's actually, they have one seating, and it's at 6:15, I think it was. And what was great was it was just, it was like 4 glasses of wine, like Italian wine, and then it was light bites. So it was literally like, when I say light bites, it was like a small little piece of tuna. Or it was like 1 or 2, like 2 gnocchis in a little bowl. So it wasn't like anything that was going to fill you up. I think the third course was like this little piece of Wagyu steak. And then you had like this little chocolate dessert at the end. So it wasn't anything that was like necessarily a meal replacement, but it was just like to kind of whet your appetite. And there was a wine pairing that went with each. And I think that, the Palo on the Magic, I've only been on, I haven't been to Palo on the Wish, but I went on the Fantasy, and I actually like this Palo better than the one on the Fantasy. I just think it's a little bit nicer. And we were in this kind of private dining room with maybe 3 other couples. And so it was very, I want to say the word intimate, even though I was with my friend, but it was like an intimate, very personalized experience. It was great. It was a lot of fun. And it's probably too late for you guys to book now, and you're on the podcast cruise anyway. But for anybody listening, I would definitely recommend it. And you can still go to especially if you have late seating, you can go to that.
So you could do both. Yeah, so you could do both, so you won't be full. Okay, that's interesting.
Right. I mean,
so I
didn't really eat that much at dinner, but I still went and I ordered like an appetizer or something.
Okay. So you got so you still got to meet your wait staff and yeah. Okay, so that makes sense because it was during first. I call it shift. I don't know. I'm like a Hoosier, but I'm not offending my Indiana fans. I'm a hillbilly or whatever because I have a brother-in-law. When I say Hoosier, he goes crazy because he's from Indiana, but that's what we say in Missouri. So let me ask you this. So do you normally dine on early, like a main, as they call it? And now this time you were on second. So tell me about that mindset. How would that work for you? Because it sounds like
the first 2 cruises I've always cruised early because, I'm kind of like you. I'm very wired to, I go to bed by like 10:30 and then, I wake up early and I run. And it's just, I'm just wired that way and my body functions better that way. But when we went on a big cruise with a bunch of my Plain Disney friends. It was like 25 of us last year, and we went on the Magic. It was this itinerary, so I've done it twice now, 2 summers in a row. But because it was 25 of us and it was a big group, we did the later seating, and I was like, I survived. I was fine. I was fine. So Julie was like, you know what, we're going to do the later seating because she, prefers that because, what's nice about it, and Scott will probably chime in, that like when you're coming back from like Castaway Cay or Lookout, like you're not rushing off the island and feeling like I have to get in the shower and get to the dining room by 5:00 or whatever it is, 5:45. You can take your time. And so, yes, I mean, your food's probably not hitting the table till 9. And so you just don't look at your watch.
Oh my gosh, don't say that. You just gave me a heart attack. 9 o'clock.
Yeah, because you're going to be like, oh, I should be in bed by like in an hour and I'm just eating my food. So don't think, you just have to be like in vacation mode and not worry about that. And trust me, Julie's just like, you're going to have to like not worry about that during the cruise. And I didn't. I was very good about it, and it was fun. And by the way, we had a fabulous dining team. So shout out to her name is Marlon. And I know she won't be on your cruise because she is flying back to the Philippines to visit family, but she was fabulous. But you know what? All the Disney Cruise Line servers are so fantastic.
Agreed.
So you guys are going to have the best time.
So tell us, especially, maybe not even for Scott and I, but like what were like one or two things not to miss, especially because we got some first time cruisers on our group.
I know.
So, everything's going to be awesome for them, right? They're going to be like awestruck just being
it's
introduced
gonna
onto
be
the
so
ship
awesome.
and just having the ice cream machine and,
I know.
what can't they miss to get the essence of it?
And we could talk, the islands are their own, obviously the islands, Castaway, a lot of people have done those, but we can talk about that separately or look out because I don't think you've done that yet.
No, I
but
haven't done that.
I would say the biggest piece of advice, if you've never done a Disney cruise, is to definitely go to the shows. Now, for me, one of my favorite shows is Tangled, which you guys will get to see. And what was really, really nice was, I think the first night we were in Lumiere's, which is fine. It's like kind of, to me, it's a little meh. It's like it's all cream colored and it's nicer, but it's not like real exciting. And then I think we did Rapunzel's Royal Table maybe the third night, but it lined up with the Tangled show, which was really kind of cool. So I'm not sure if it will line up for you, but Tangled I think was on the second or third night. And that to me, for all of the podcast cruisers that are going with you, that is the show. That's my favorite. I really, really like Tangled. We missed the first night show because we were doing that prima notte. But I think the first night show is like a Cinderella theme, and that's cute. And then the last show was also good, but the Tangled show is definitely my favorite. And I think there was like a juggler that was in there too that was good. So I would say definitely take part in the entertainment, whether you have the first dining, then you go to dinner and then you do the entertainment afterwards. Or, obviously if you have the later seating, then if you're able to, then go to the show. I think it starts at like 6 or 6:30. I don't know. But that to me is one of my favorite things to do.
Nice. Scott, you have any questions?
I just love listening. I just love listening. Like,
Yeah.
So Tangled, like, there's a lot of us talking like in the Discord that we seem to all have these daughters at this age that were like they just love Tangled. Like Emily that was like her first movie that she just really fell in love with, and like Rapunzel was just like a big character that she loved. So like so many of us are just so excited for the Tangled restaurant, the Tangled show.
That restaurant's really cool. And because, I think that the Disney cruise ships now are doing more interactive dining, and every ship, I think, has that one dining room. Like on the Wish, Mike, you've been on the Wish, and Scott too, where they have like the Arendelle, which is really cool. So, in the Tangled one, by the way, I got the Tangled pasta, which I really liked.
That's what I'm getting. I've already looked at the menus. I already know what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting at. Yes.
Okay. The Tangled pasta I would recommend. That was good. Yeah. But the characters that are in that dining room are really funny, and I remember them from last summer too. And there's this one guy you'll see when you go in there. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, but he's like this big guy and he's bald and kind of has like a beard, and he's kind of scary and menacing looking, but he's really kind of funny. So I don't know what character he played in the movie, but he's the same guy that was in there last year, and he's really funny. So he'll interact with your table, I'm sure. But I swear, Julie, I think got it on video, but he came up behind me and he creeped up on me and he scared me, and I screamed so loud. And then like half an hour later, then he creeped up behind Julie, and then he made her scream, and to me it was very funny. So that was like one of my favorite parts, just because it's a funny moment. But that dining room is really cool because it's very interactive, and the kids, like even she has a 17-year-old daughter as well. So even the kids were getting up and marching around the room. And it's just like a very feel-good moment of, it's a very loud dining room. So I'm sure, Mike, at 9:00 at night, you're going to be like, this is a lot of stimulation.
I'm fine. Let's go.
Keep winding down.
No,
but just go with it. It's a lot of fun.
No, I mean, I'm not 90. I like it. We'll have fun because we'll be going, because after that we'll be going down to the adult area and having fun and after hours and stuff like that.
Okay, so Julie and I talked about this as well. So There's a guy in the adult area, and it's different from the person that was last year. This guy is better. His name is Quint, like Quint,
I've heard
and he's really funny.
Yeah, somebody emailed me about him that just got off the ship too and said he was good.
Oh my
Quint.
gosh.
Yeah, I've heard stories of Quint.
Very, very funny. And we know that Pam will not do Match Your Mate, but Julie and I were both like,
No.
Mike or Scott should totally do Match Your Mate.
No, I'd be divorced.
Oh my gosh, I know you would. Okay, then Scott and Liz should do it because it was so funny. Like when we were in there were these three couples, and of course they try to pick these, I call them kids, but these kids that were on their honeymoon, and then like a couple that have been married like maybe 10 years, and then there was this couple that have been married like 30 years. And all three of them, I mean, were so funny. And then you see them, like we saw them on Castaway Key.
They're legends. I know they're
walking
legends.
around the ship. We saw them at Lookout, and then they were like celebrities.
Yeah,
every
they
time
are.
I'd see them, I'd be like, you're the guy that your wife said she liked your butt in the black Wranglers.
Yeah.
And I said that to him, and he just started laughing.
Exactly. You're a superstar the rest of the cruise. 100%.
They were total superstars. So
what's funny about Match Your Mate?
I didn't have my mate on the cruise, so we just sat in the back. It's called Fathoms Lounge, and we just sat in the back and watched. But I mean, it was past my bedtime, but it was well worth it because we were laughing so hard. It was really, really funny. So you have to go to Match Your Mate if you can do the nighttime entertainment.
Oh yeah, we never.
You have to go to that.
Go ahead, Scott.
I was gonna say, fun fact about Match Your Mate. Last cruise I went on in February, I know we're all Be Our Guest lizards here. We had Marcy call earlier, who's a lizard. It was a lizard got married. Our friend Neil got married on the Wish, and they were selected for Match Your Mate, and they won. And it was hysterical to see our friends from the podcast be on the ship that day they got married. It was actually that night they got married too, and they won Match Your Mate. It was pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
You should win.
It's fun. It's really funny when it's someone you know, like because didn't Jay and Melissa?
Yeah, because they had met on one podcast cruise, and then they got married on the next podcast. Well, they got married on at Seabreeze Point on the boardwalk, and then they went on the podcast cruise the next time around. And so they were honeymooning on the cruise, and they got on it. It was really awkward though, because like their parents were sitting next to me. It was just, it was really great. I mean, it was hilarious, but it was all kinds of awkward. So sit next to Jay's mom and dad.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
yeah, because some interesting things will come out, right?
Oh, yeah, and it came. It was wild, man. I mean, with that cruise, we had like 100, or we might have had more than 100 of us in there. We almost took over all of Evolution. It was crazy. Yeah, it was wild. We never missed Match Your Mate. But yeah, my wife, if I got within 100 feet of that stage during Match Your Mate, I would be dead.
I would be the same way, honestly. Dead. But that's as spicy as Disney Cruise gets,
yes,
right? Because I know Scott sailed on Royal Caribbean, and that's probably a little spicier. But Disney, that's just like, wow, and it's funny.
I
we
love
really
stuff
enjoyed
like
that.
Like, my wife left the room once. Mike can attest to this. My wife left the room once, and then she came back. Next thing she knew, I was on stage being hypnotized. Yep. She's like, "What? This is what happens when I leave."
It was awesome. Dude, that was one of the funniest things.
That would be cool.
Oh my god, the best pictures and video ever of Scott hypnotized up on stage. Yes,
I bet.
So
you guys are gonna love it, and I hope are you doing Palo dinner or Palo brunch?
Yes.
Or both. We do both. Oh, good. Oh, that's great. I've done Palo dinner before, but we didn't do it this cruise because we didn't want to miss being in the dining room with the kids. But you've done Palo brunch before. I've heard the story about how you had to borrow the pants.
I did have to borrow. I gotta remember to pack the pants. I'm glad you brought that up. It might happen again.
Right.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I will tell you real quick. Speaking of, remember to pack your passports, because I got to the airport and realized I didn't have mine. Yeah, believe it or not. And I didn't have my son's either, so I had to call my husband. He was playing golf, and I said, "Can you overnight the passports?" Luckily, we were at the boardwalk for 2 nights. So
oh my gosh.
Don't forget the pants, and don't forget to pack your passport.
I'm going down the day before. That would not be good. So now you're giving me all kinds of nightmares. No. Pants, and I don't even have a passport, but I have a birth certificate. But now you're making me super nervous. So I'm right after this. I'm making a pile. I don't recommend
leaving it behind.
Yes, I'm not doing that. But you're giving everybody nightmares now, Ian. You're freaking everybody out.
You're
giving good advice.
It was my worst nightmare.
You're giving good advice, but just saying.
I know.
I can't wait though.
Yeah. So Palo. Palo brunch is amazing, though. I mean,
it's my best
such a
meal
great
of the
experience.
year every year. That's because I don't go to super fancy restaurants, but that's always my favorite meal of the year. Oh.
And I know Mike probably wouldn't eat this, but Scott would. One of my favorite things to get is the grape and gorgonzola pizza.
I've eaten that.
Oh my gosh.
I've eaten that. That's good.
Really good.
Yeah, I've had that.
It's so really good.
Yeah. I've had. I eat with Scott. We go to it's on the table there. I've had that.
Yeah, is that the illegal
and the
pizza?
lasagna.
Remember, like we've gotten the illegal.
Yeah, well,
pizza?
it's the secret pizza. Yeah.
It is. They say it's secret, but the lasagna is great. There's
chicken
some
parm.
sort of chocolate dessert.
Oh.
It's really good. The chicken parm is really good. Yes.
Yep. Oh, I can't wait. Yeah.
Everything's so good.
We're going to have fun. So, yeah. Well, I'm glad you had a good cruise and you got me even more just excited for this one.
I'm so psyched.
Man, Scott gets to leave like in, 3 days. I got to wait a week, but it'll be a long week, but it'll be worth it. Can't wait to share.
Oh, and I have to tell you real quick because I'm going to let you go and talk to other listeners. But when I disembarked, I stayed at Disney for a few days. I had to do some Flint Disney assignment stuff, and so I stayed at Coronado. And one night we went to Maya Grill, and I got to listen to the cool jazz guy. His name's Marcelo. He is great. I love him, but you guys always talk about him, and so I had to tell you that I enjoyed his music.
He's the best.
He is, and his name. We always call him the smooth jazz guy, but he is Marcelo. That is actually.
I know.
We have his name.
His name is Marcelo.
Yeah, he has a name. He we call him smooth.
But in my Google Photos, he's called Maya Grill Smooth Jazz Guy, and I have like at least 20 photos of him.
Oh, real quick. I mean, this is just for Scott and I. Totally, this is for us.
Yeah.
Was there any cool merchandise in the stores on the Magic? Because we love good merch. Did you see anything that caught your eye?
I did walk around, but I did not. Well, okay, so I did buy I bought a sun shirt, because my son says, "Oh, I'm gonna, get some sun." And then when you do the islands, I don't know what your itinerary is, but we did Castaway and Lookout 2 back-to-back days.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, he got very crispy. And so I bought him a sun shirt. So he wore this, that's the only thing we bought in the merchandise store.
I love my sun shirts.
I started wearing them because of Scott. I'd never worn them before. They're the greatest.
Here's a random
ever.
question for you both. So I did this with the Wish, and I'm doing it with the Magic again. I have not researched it at all, really. And I have not made this purchase in a while, and I'm kind of curious. Is there like a good art store because I remember like the Dream had a good art store on there.
They have outside. I feel like it's outside of D Lounge or by where the jewelry store is, which is all out in the open. I think they just have art on the walls.
Okay.
And it's very expensive.
And sometimes it gets really expensive.
It does.
My in-laws came back from a Royal Caribbean cruise last year, and they bought the most gaudy looking piece of art. It was, and I bet you it was super expensive too, but it had this frame. This frame was ridiculous, and it was the wrong frame, so they had to have it shipped back. And it's just a funny story with this frame though, but I can't imagine how much this costs. But it gets me thinking I want to get a new piece of.
It's an impulse buy, right? And then when you get home, you're like, I don't know if I care about that. But yeah, I remember when we were on the Fantasy a few years ago, they had a really nice shopping area with a Tiffany store and like you said, a nice art store. And the Magic is, you guys haven't sailed it for a while, at least Mike hasn't. It's just what's nice about, there's pros and cons about sailing one of the classic ships. It's a little it's not quite as fancy, but it is smaller, so it's easier to get around. And when you go to the islands, it's not as much of a rush for seats and stuff. So I like that. I like the smaller footprint of the ship a lot. But there's just not that big fancy shopping district area. At least, not that and I've been on it twice. So not that I remember. The only other thing I would say is, has nothing related to shopping, but it just came to my mind, is both last year and this year, there was the night, I think after we left Lookout, it gets there must be moving really fast because I could really feel the ship moving. So I was glad I wore a patch behind my ear, but make sure to pack your motion sickness medicine just in case.
I've heard that about the Magic, that even on this itinerary, because I tell people when you go on Bahamian cruises, you really don't have to worry about motion very much. But I've heard the Magic is more susceptible to motion. And actually, I did get prescription patches. We got them filled a couple days ago.
that's smart because
And
like
I don't feel
like
motion
we were
usually.
in Rapunzel's World Table that last night, and or no, it was the second to last night, and I could like I was just like my eyes were getting really big because I could really feel it rocking, but I was not squeezing because I wore the patch, but just that's one more thing to make sure to pack just in case.
Yeah, we just got them just in case. Because I've seen that on vlogs,
Yeah,
right? People are like, man, I
or
can really
whatever.
feel it. I mean, plus, like when I was on the Treasure, man, I felt like that ship was it was bouncing. I mean, it was a Treasure. It was the biggest ship. So.
Yep.
I'm excited
The
for
Wish
this
was
little thrill
bouncing when
ride.
I was on.
Yeah, I know. I kind of am too, but I was like,
I'm
dude, I'm
excited.
bringing it just in case. I mean,
that's gonna be a fun sleep.
Yeah, it's good. So there's no better sleep than
Oh,
that.
I always sleep so well on the Disney
same.
cruises. I don't know what it
Oh,
is. I
so
mean, everybody
good.
always says that, right?
Oh,
and
so
so
good.
it's Plain Disney, but you always get questions like, "What's the mattress?" Because I slept so
Yeah.
well. I think it's just
Oh, yeah.
the movement of the ship. I don't think it's the mattress.
Yeah, you don't
I
normally
think it's
get rocked
the
to
linen,
bed.
the linens though, man. Like
Think?
that's it for me.
Yeah, they are nice. They
Yeah.
are nice.
Well, you
Yeah.
got us pumped up. We can't
So-
wait to tell you about it. And yeah, we'll definitely we won't have beautiful reels like you put on there. So tell everybody where they can check your stuff out on Instagram so they can check it out.
Oh, I think I'm just my stuff where I post Disney stuff is just Run Disney Mom.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not real creative. I was trying to come up with a creative handle. My
That's
husband was
creative.
like, "Well, just do something Run Disney related." So Run Disney Mom. But yeah, I did that. We had like a long drive to Hilton Head yesterday, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm just going to create a reel." It took me like 2 hours.
Hey.
But I was just in the car in the past. I was not driving.
Well, that's
but,
good.
I
mean, that'd be
had
super
time to
impressive.
kill.
That'd be super impressive if you made a reel that good and drove at the same time. I mean, that'd be
Yeah,
something.
that would be dangerous. But yeah, I had time to kill. So that's what I did. And my husband was bored out of his mind because I was over there, on the passenger side creating my reel. But yeah, so it's Run Disney Mom. It's nothing fancy, trust me. But I had fun. It's because I sometimes forget, even, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, I'm like, oh, what did we eat? Or, it's just nice to like go back and look at memories. So I take video clips or pictures all the time, and
That's what we do.
it's a good way to go back and remember.
All right, well, Ian, thanks for calling in, and can't wait to hopefully share it with have some videos and stuff for you to see, and then get remind you of your cruise.
Yeah, Scott, I want to see your vlog. So we're
Yes.
gonna go after I get off here. I'm gonna go watch the Alani one. So I want to see some Scott's vlogs. So have the
Awesome.
best time.
Well, thanks for watching.
Yep.
Well, we'll have the camera out when we're on the ship. So
yes, I can't wait.
Absolutely, you should.
All right, we'll see you later, Ian.
Okay, take
All
care.
right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
bye.
All right, so let me do this. All right, yeah, she's got me so pumped up for this. And Run Disney Mom, check her out. Dude, that's great. Be Our Guest Mike. How creative is that? That's creative. Real quick, I wanted to say happy birthday, 60th birthday to Barb over on Instagram. She is celebrating at Walt Disney World right now, and she wanted to let us know that. So happy birthday to Barb. And Charles, a big LSU fan, home of the national champion baseball team, says, love the Rank 'em show on Friday. Try to rank these 3 moderates. Fort Wilderness, Port Orleans, and Coronado. So where would you put those? I'll let you go first, Scott. I guess the cabins would be Fort Wilderness.
I mean, if it's the cabins, I'm putting Fort Wilderness at the top because that's where. I mean, I just fell in love with those cabins when we stayed there over Thanksgiving. Man, but Coronado is so good. I'm gonna put Fort Wilderness, then I'm gonna put Coronado, and then I'm gonna put French Quarter as my third.
See, I've never stayed at Fort Wilderness, so that's go at the bottom for me. Just because I've never stayed there yet. I know they're huge and everything.
Yeah, but they're so good.
I know they're
so
very
good.
unique. But they don't have like a food court. Pam won't stay there yet. I got to do it. I know.
But you got the old like.
I know it's very old. It's very old school. I think I'd.
Dude, you guys would love that place.
I know
honestly.
I would. I would totally love it because it's
I could
it's
just
old
see
school.
Pam want to ride in that golf cart, and then because you could go to like the Old Trails End place, like the J&J's or whatever it's called. Like
I'd
takeout.
100% love it, dude. I would love that jam.
Hmm.
But Coronado's probably my favorite. And I love French Quarter. Maybe I'm just in the mood for beignets. That's a tough one though. Oof. He says go Tigers. All right, let me open the phone lines back up.
Hello, Kayla and Brooke. We'll miss you on the podcast cruise. They were on the last one.
Yes. They had the logo.
Oh my God, incredible logo. That was awesome.
It was awesome. let's see here. Hang on, let's get this. All right, 407-584-7173. 407-584-7173.
We're going to be out of office next Sunday.
That is true. We'll be very out of office. So next Sunday night we'll be chugging on. We'll be at
getting ready for dinner. I'll be putting on
we'll be getting ready for
my outfit.
I know.
Depending on where we're at, I have a particular shirt for one restaurant already. I was
the first night we're at Rapunzel's.
You know that for a sure?
Well, that's what we're supposed to be. Now, I don't think it's the Rapunzel show that night, though. The more I've done research, I don't think the Rapunzel show happens till our last night.
Okay.
But I think we're having Rapunzel's the first and the last night, but I think the show happens on the last night.
Now, that'd be kind of cool. I would actually that would be really cool.
That'd be better to have the show on the last night, right?
Because I think that'd be really neat. Yeah.
I think the first night is like a welcome aboard kind of menu.
Dinner.
Yeah, that's what I think it is.
That would be sweet. But I think you have a shirt plan for the same restaurant that I have my shirt plan for.
Yeah, Animators.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I have
It's
a
no
shirt.
secret.
Yes. Yeah, like Jason says, show Pam the Christmas light looping around the fort immediately after the show. Yeah,
sure. Some of those must-see adventure videos, man.
Yeah, I know. And maybe we could sneak down for Christmas, like for a few nights this year, because
there we go.
I could work from there, and she doesn't have anything to do now. She's retired. We gotta take advantage. If you're gonna retire,
still be around for Mallory's birthday. You go down there for.
That's true. I mean, because. Once football season's over,
still on school break, maybe, or do they do cheer over her?
No, there's a window after. Well, I mean, I don't think we're gonna be that good this year. I mean, we're gonna be okay, but I don't think we're gonna win state. But hopefully, but I doubt it. But if football season's over by Thanksgiving, even if we go to state, and then there's a window until basketball doesn't start till after the first of the year. So, December. Now you got me thinking. 407-584. I don't know why that's coming.
Oh man, Illuminations. Oh my gosh.
See, I have a different ringtone. It's a different Disney ringtone for every person in my contacts. And so I have and they're all different attractions, like 30 different attractions. And I've had that for over 15 years. All right, 407-584-7173, 407-584-7173 is
so you said you kind of have an idea what you might order for dinner on Saturday.
I do know what I'm getting, yes. Well, at least the night of that menu. That would be the last night, though, at that menu.
Yeah. No, I meant Saturday, before we even board the ship, at the Mexican restaurant.
Yes.
Yeah, but do you know what you're getting on the ship, at all the dinner spots? Have you studied the menus that closely?
I've watched
you said
so many
you're
vlogs.
Get some dangled pasta or something.
So I've watched so many vlogs. I pretty much kind of have an idea of what I think I might get. Yes, it's so bad.
Try not to.
Because here's the thing. And it's so bad because I'm with you that I normally don't like. I'm very spoiler. Sorry, someone's blowing up my phone on FaceTime. I'm very away from spoilers. I try to stay away from spoilers, but I've been so excited for this one. I got to the point where I was just forget it. I'm just all in. I'm just watching this because I've been so excited. And the other thing is I walk on the treadmill so much every day that I just was all in watching this because I had to kill so much time walking.
It's easy to do when you're walking.
I have watched literally every Disney Magic vlog on YouTube that has come out in the last 2 years. I mean, every minute of it. And so I seriously am not, I know that shit front and back, side to side, because I've told you, I've seen some really creative vlogs, really well done ones, and I've seen 90% that are just pretty bad, but I don't care because I'm there just to see the content. I'm just to see the ship, to see cabanas, just to see the adult areas, just to see this and that. And, sorry, hang on. I forgot to.
You're a popular guy tonight.
I am. Let's see here. Okay, there. But I am excited, to do that. So I have seen the menus because I sit through, people sitting down at Lumiere's and talking about what every person at the table has ordered. You know, because I go around the table.
You've seen that
get?
like 25 times.
Yes,
already.
like, you know, what did you get for the appetizer? What did you get for your mains? What did you get for your dessert?
And you're like looking at them, like, you know what they ordered the night before. You're like, oh, I bet you they're gonna order this because this is
right. Because because the thing is, we've talked about this, right? Like with vlog, like, you know, when you watch a vlog, because typically the way people do it with cruises is that they'll like post like day 1 and then day 2.
Yeah, that's how we do ours.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, right.
Easy. Yeah.
So, what happens is, by like day 4 or day 5, I'm pretty much onto them. Like you just said, like, I know, like, okay, this dude's a vegetarian. So this dude is not getting the steak, or this dude's really into pasta. He's going to get the pasta dish. So like, I know what they're going to order probably more than they know what they're going to order. But then I'm like, oh dude, you made the bad call, because I've watched 7 other vlogs at this point. I'm like, dude, this is not the restaurant to get the filet. Like, dude, you missed it. Like the pasta at this restaurant, that's the go-to. But, you know, it's their first cruise. They don't know this, right? And I'm like, dude, I haven't been on this ship since 1998. How am I supposed to know? I haven't had it myself. Like, I can't judge. So I don't know. Like, I just know, like, at Animators, everybody talks about, I'm just telling you, here's a hot take. At Animators Palette, and this is fleet wide, they have this appetizer. It's this pasta appetizer. It's like a pasta per set or something. I don't even know, but every person on every vlog raves about this thing. It's like little pastas that you got to get for your appetizer. So I've never ordered it for some reason, but I'm getting that. I'm pumped up for that. So
yeah, I'm pumped up for so much. Like I'm pumped up for like the pre-cruise. Like we're gonna be there for 4th of July. Like I'm excited for Epcot. Like I did some multi-lane, like whatever it's called. Like so I
lightning lanes.
I pre-booked some lightning lanes the other day. So like so that was kind of an interesting process for me. And I was driving my dad to the airport, so I couldn't do it like right at 7 a.m. So I did it later in the day, and I was still able to get some stuff. Like I didn't get like the times I necessarily wanted. Like I got Slinky Dog at like 2:30 in the afternoon. I would have rather got that, you know, like 9 a.m. or something, you know, but I was still able to get like some nice tier A type of attraction. So I'm excited. So I got a Hollywood Studios day, we got an Animal Kingdom day, and I did a Magic Kingdom day. So excited to do that. And plus I bought a Guardians of the Galaxy for Epcot so that I can do that. So spend some money and might just experience
that'll be a good day though. It'll be worth it. What you know.
Yeah. So I kind of timed it right so that I can do Guardians and then hop over to Le Cellier for our dinner, and then kind of get our spot, get our location for the New Year's, not New Year's. It feels like New Year's, right? When you're for the 4th of July fireworks show. Excited for that.
So where are you expecting to see the fireworks? Where's your preferred view?
I mean, it's kind of always been like our jam is that spot in Japan.
Yeah,
you know,
that
like,
is the spot.
It's just a wide open spot where like you can kind of just like post up kind of last minute, you know. But like the 3 of us though, like we used to always love going up into like the building, like the Tokyo Dining building, like that elevated spot. But like so many people are onto that now, where like you have to get there pretty darn early, and a lot of photographers will like have their tripods up there now, and like they get there early now. So it's
all
like
vloggers and stuff.
Yeah, that's a hard one to get now. So, and especially with the 4th of July ones, like you don't have to be like on the water, like on the rail.
Dude,
like,
I just love
it's actually kind of better to be further back almost sometimes.
Like you feel the fireworks on the 4th of July, like that ending part.
You do.
Oh man,
it's so good.
I hate that we're gonna miss that, but we have
know.
birthdays.
You will be missed for sure. We'll see you the next morning.
Yeah,
we'll see you the next
dude.
day.
I know we gotta leave for the airport at 4 a.m. the next day. Jennifer, that's what they're called. She's here from St. Charles, Missouri. Love the truffle per sets. That's what they're called at Animators Palette. I'm telling you, people get those for like their entree. Like they'll get like 3 orders of these things. That's how good they are. People say so. I don't know, and they have them at Animators on all the ships. People just get them and get them. Real quick, Tina says, because we had a question about the Best Friends Pet Resort on a listener question show this week. She says, I just want to say the Best Friends Pet Hotel was awesome. We had our dog with us the week after Thanksgiving, and it was great. We were at Art of Animation, and my husband took our dog to doggy daycare every day. And the only thing we would change is we would stay at Port Orleans to make transportation easier and quicker. Because it's across the street from Riverside is where it is.
Yeah,
if you want
right
to know,
there.
like on property, it's right across the street from Riverside. But yeah, that's awesome. I mean, because we haven't actually used it, but way back about 10 years ago, we did an April Fool's Day show where we talked about a brand new resort coming to Walt Disney World, and we gave all the amenities, but we didn't say until about 25 minutes into the show that it was actually the best friend's pet resort.
That was when you actually got me. I remember that. It was before I knew you.
Dude, it was the best. Like, we skirted around like some of the amenities that this new resort was going to have until we started talking about fire hydrants and chain link fences and stuff. And then people were like, what are they? It was so fun. All right, 407-584-7173. Yeah, if you have a rank 'em you want to do, we just ranked those 3 moderate resorts. Or we were talking in the Discord earlier this week. Somebody brought up, because Jason did his like rankings of, where you can put in this or that kind of situation. And you get to hear a lot of Jason next week. It's going to be awesome, by the way. People were talking about the worst queues, because we're talking about like what queues are worth waiting in line for physically, like going through the queue, standby for the like bang for your buck for the attraction. And so I'm curious, like what people think as far as like what queues are the worst, like payout for the attraction. People were talking like Peter Pan. I don't know anymore. Like the queue's better now than it used to be. Like it used to be just switchbacks.
Peter Pan queue is great.
Yeah, it used to be bad though. Like it wasn't great in the old days. All right, we have a call here, so we can talk about that. All right, hey caller, who's there?
This is Chet from Salt Lake City.
Hey, is it Chet? You said CHET?
Yeah, like Chet in the South.
Okay, gotcha. Rock on. What's going on? How's Utah tonight?
It's a little hot, but we're doing okay. It's not too hot this summer, but it beats being in Florida.
Hey, well, I mean. I'll take Florida, but yeah, but it's nicer out there. So what's going on?
Oh, not much. I just wanted to talk about last week. I know you guys had a guy who went down and did the challenge doing Disneyland in one day. And I did one in May. But we tried to do both parks, California Adventure and Disneyland in one day. And I think last week they were talking about just Disneyland.
Yep.
And it's much easier to do just Disneyland. I went down with my cousins. We stayed at the Grand Californian. We got the early entry, and the only thing was they closed. Disneyland used to close at midnight, but nowadays a lot during the weekdays they're closing at 10. And so it's starting to be more like the Disney World resorts where they close at 9 or 10 instead of midnight, which used to be a great hour because those last 2 hours you could just get so much done, right?
Yeah.
But we went for it, and we only got 46 out of 51 that were available that day.
Gee, that's a lot. it's breathtaking. Holy cow, 46 attractions.
Yeah, it was quite a run. And so, yeah, I don't know if you guys seen the Parkeology Challenge website or Every Ride Challenge. We were trying to do their rules.
Uh-huh.
And so their rules are pretty specific. So you got to, you can't use like Club 33 or Experience Passes or whatever. You can only use Genie Plus, the multi-pass day or the multi-lightning lane days. So we found out that you got to really try and maximize them to your best if you're going to try and do them all in one day. So, but it was fun.
This must be a Utah thing, because that was also Andrew from Utah. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I think it's just us who don't have a life and listen to all these. I heard it on another podcast, and I was like, you know what? I started looking into it, going to the website. There's one guy on the Parkeology website who's like done it like 4 or 5 times at Disneyland. And it's like, man, I don't know. He's got it down, but I didn't have it down. We still had a really good time. It was lots of fun to just try and get every ride in. But, the rules are if it moves, you got to be on it. So you can miss something like Mickey's Faux Hard Magic. Okay. Or Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, but we had to get on the one thing that ruined us is is we had to go to Tom Sawyer's Island, just get on the boat and go across and back, right?
Yeah.
And it was like we were in California Adventure. We had 3 rides left, and it was like we either got to get over there for 5 o'clock or we don't. And so we tried to go for it, and those were the 3 rides that we left on the table. Were the 3 rides in California Adventure. So
yeah, I was going to ask, what were some of those 5 that you missed?
So I was with my cousin, and we actually ended up splitting up at the end of the night because they were saying, we're going to go to the train. And so they ran to the train, and I'm the fat, slow guy that kind of ran to the railroad and took the railroad around to Toontown. We missed Tiana's Bayou Adventure. The 3 I left on was Web Slingers, Soren, and Mike and Sully to the Rescue. And
Mike's favorite ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I would have hit Tom Sawyer Island earlier in the day, I think that would have been the difference right there. It was lots of fun, but those 3 rides had single riders that we could hit, and so you could really hit them within an hour. What it comes down to is you got to hit like 3 rides an hour, right?
Yeah.
But if you hit a heavy day, like all of a sudden, I tried to pick the least crowded day. Nope, big crowded day because they had America's Got Talent was there that day. So
yeah, I saw that. I've seen that on social media. Yeah, it's like
so it was
like
that day, and it was like we went the
doing?
day after, so it was like, oh, you know what I mean? So it was like we ran into a little bit there, but it was still a fun time. I took my 1.5-year-old son, and I went with my wife the day before and the day after. So I did get every ride in over 3 days, but I think if you're going to do a challenge, like do just one park and have fun with it. You know, if you play California Adventure right, rope drop it, you can be done by 11 noon. You know,
that's crazy. Because that's Scott. That's your favorite. Like you always say, that's your favorite.
I love
park,
DCA
right?
a lot. Yeah. It's probably my favorite domestic park. Yeah.
You know, and I think here's the thing that I think you guys, it sounds like you both love Disney World and we both love Disneyland. You know, Disneyland has 54 rides and Disney World has 54 rides. So, you know, but one's in 2 parks and one's in 4 parks. And right. I think the thing that it's about that is if you're a park person, if you're a rope drop to close person, like that's great for Disneyland because you can just go all day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But at Disney World, like you're going to hit the lines. The multi-pass is different, right? It's, you know, you're going to get it more spread out throughout the day. And instead of like with that day, we did 10, 12, I lost count of how many multi-pass lightning lanes we used that day, right? We were like 15, you know, multi-pass uses. If you can get 5 or 6 or 7 multi-pass uses out of Disney World, that's a good day.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree with you there. Like the multi-pass at Disneyland, you probably use double of your passes at Disneyland than you do at World in a day, I would say.
Yeah.
Conservatively.
Close to, yeah.
Yeah. I was solo last time I was there, but I redeemed every attraction, I think, at Disneyland, but 2, because you can only use them one time, right? But I'd used everything I could use except I think 2 attractions in that one day. I was like, wow, you know.
And that's where it becomes hard because at the end of the night, all of a sudden, that's what it became hard for me is, you know, these late lightning lanes start just getting later and later in the evening, right? The only thing that's left is Buzz Lightyear or Star Tours or something like that. That's the only thing left, or Autopia, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what you got as it gets used up later in the evening. But the nice thing about Disney World is you can plan it a little bit better.
True.
My wife and I, we went back in October, last October, to Disney World. We stayed at the Art of Animation, and I really had to plan it well because we had a 7-month-old son at the time. So my wife was pumping, so we needed time, and that's why I wanted a good Skyliner resort where we could get back to the resort so that she could have some time alone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We also had to really plan it well where that, hey, at this time, at 11 o'clock in the after, 11 o'clock, like we've got to be at the mother's room,
Mm-hmm.
the care centers that
Yep.
they have, the baby care centers. And it just requires just a little bit more planning, a lot more planning because of the transportation. And I think being on a Skyliner resort or a resort really close is really nice. So you can just get back, because going to that baby care center twice is, you got to go, right?
Yes,
We were
yes.
pumping. So there's, it's, you got to have a private space. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I've heard
But
those are super nice.
Yeah, so it worked out really good, though. So learning to plan those was just really nice. And I think what I've really liked about California Adventure and Disneyland is you can be a little bit more spontaneous with that. When you hop, you're like, you get on there, you go, oh, hey, Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, we'll go hit it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I do like that about Disneyland. Is just everything's right there. You just go, especially when you have the Hopper, Lightning Lane, Multipass. It's like the world's your oyster. You just go around, and the density of attractions is incredible when you come from Walt Disney World. Because they're just, like you said, I mean, there's that many attractions. But I mean, if you think about like the distance between Expedition Everest and say Space Mountain, like from Animal Kingdom to Magic Kingdom, it's crazy, but like at Disneyland, they're within, the furthest two attractions are 10 minutes, 10-minute walk. So and the thing is too about an experience like that, the challenge you got to do is like, it's, you missed like 4 or 5 attractions, but it's the memories. Like you'll have the stories forever. Like, oh, that day, when we were here on this
Island.
Exactly. That dang island, or, dang, Mike and Sully got me, or, Soren, because Soren will still be around. But I love hearing stories like this. That's awesome.
What got me, I'll tell you what got me, is I got greedy and I wanted to fly the Millennium Falcon instead of just do the single rider. If you're going to do a challenge, you just got to do the single rider. That's what I learned. You just got to do the single rider. You're going to sit in the back and you're going to press the button.
Yes, just suck it up and be an engineer,
Yep, somebody else is going to fly it. So we were flying it, and I say to my cousin's kid, I was like, come on over. And he turns the stick real hard, and all of a sudden, like, boom, white screen.
Can't trust him.
It was the second time I crashed the Millennium Falcon.
Wow.
All of a sudden, it literally just like boom, crashes. You wait for the whole ride to finish. Then they take you out. They put you on another one, and that cost us 20, 30 minutes.
See, it takes the plane right off your shoulders. See, if your cousin, the whole rest of the way, we would have made it. Exactly.
Well, here's the thing. If I just would have went into the single rider line with part of our party did, they went into the single rider. They were waiting 30 minutes for us. So it's just, that really hurt us. And that a couple other moves that I made during the day, just all of a sudden it just time adds up, right?
It's too many.
The hard one to
variables.
Get over, the hardest one that I can't seem to figure out is the Finding Nemo subs. Because it's like a 30-minute ride. It's like 20 minutes in the subs, and it's always like a 15, 30-minute wait, Yep. Do you really use up that precious morning time to use that when it's not too busy or go? And that was the one that got me too.
Yeah, and the load and unload on those things is like, it takes forever. Like, the attraction is kind of fun, but then you're just like, oh my gosh, can I get out now? It
is. It's like it's claustrophobic.
Exactly. I'm like, I just want to get out. Like, are we not
looking
back?
At this little tube.
Exactly. I'm like, can we please, like, are we not back in the port or whatever? Like, where we could just open the hatch and like get out of this thing now? Like, come on now. I've been in here. It feels like I've been in there for like 2 hours.
I would like them to go back to the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea or something. Like, I love the Finding Nemo one, but I'd like them to redo the movie 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and maybe bring it back, you know?
Yeah, I never got to do that.
Maybe bring some more, just kind of update that attraction, because it's an expensive attraction for what they do, you know?
Yeah, I like it. But yeah, I did get to do the old one. That'd be cool. Well, hey, we got to go. We're up above it on the time,
All
but
right.
thanks for the great call, man. What a great challenge, and congratulations. You almost got there. And that just means you got to do it one more time.
Yeah, we're going to do it one more time. I just don't know if I'll ever do the Disney World one.
Thanks for making my night. I appreciate the call.
All right. Take care.
You take care too. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. That's a good one to end on. That was a good call.
That was fun.
I have no real inclination to do a challenge like that, though.
No. Maybe sometime. Maybe.
They just
Maybe I
sound
could
like
try it.
That's a lot of work, man. That is a lot. I would much rather do it at Disneyland. I'll say that
It'd be
because
fun.
it's not as hot. Like,
Mhm.
I just think Walt Disney World would just be so exhausting because it's like, I guess if you did one park, but still, like, the heat and humidity would kill me.
It would.
Disneyland would be more comfortable, but I would stick to one park. I'd do Disneyland. I don't think I could do both. Like, that's too much.
I feel like I'd want to do both.
You think you
I'd
want to do
wanna
both?
I'd want to do both.
I think you're biting off more than you can chew.
I like DCA so much. I'd want to do both.
Oh, dude, but think about how many's in Disneyland. Then you're adding all the DCA in that.
See,
mess.
now I'm feeling like now I want to go to Disneyland Paris and do it there now too.
Oh, well,
It's like
I've
you could
never
do it
been
out there too.
Oh, man, now you're talking. All right, so that is it for this show. And remember, no live show next Sunday night because we will be on the Disney Magic. 2 weeks from tonight, we'll be back and we'll be talking about all the fun that we had. Or I'll be back. Scott won't be, but I will be.
I'll be
here.
on a plane. I'll be just about landing.
All right. So yes. So we will be, we'll have the shows. We'll be talking about stuff down the line. We'll have everybody back together at some point, but I'll be here to take your calls. And Scott will probably be tuned in from the plane. So he'll be just watching from 35,000 feet or something.
Exactly.
But we're glad you're here and the show will roll on. We'll have pre-recorded podcasts for you on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Don't worry about that. Don't forget, today's podcast is always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We're always standing by to help you plan amazing trips to the Disney destinations for no additional cost to you. So just check out the website, put in the free no obligation quote right now over at themagicforless.com. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link. Prime days are coming up July 8th through the 11th. And if you shop during those days, you can use our link as well. So you win-win right there. We win, you win, everybody wins. So just click through beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our patrons. You guys make the show possible. Couldn't do it without your support. It's $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this week. We'd love to have you at patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. You can follow us on the social media. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike on Instagram. That's where I'll be putting a lot of stuff from the cruise. So follow me there now, please. Get ready for that. Also, x.com and Threads. Scott's at Epscott, EPSCOT. So follow him there as well. But mostly you need to get over to YouTube for must-see adventures. Scott, what's happening on the channel this week?
Yeah, so we're at Alani. So if you ever were curious about some Alani videos and what that resort looks like, you want to check out some of our recent videos. I will be sharing a video while we're out traveling at sea. So you'll want to check that out. Some more fun, a character breakfast at the resort. And we stumble across an interesting store in Oahu. So you don't want to miss that at all. We'll probably do some live videos too on the channel while we're gone too, giving some updates while we're in Florida.
Yes, it's going to be awesome. So make sure you subscribe. You got to subscribe though, so you get the notifications. So that's the key. So subscribe to Must See Adventures. Subscribe also to our YouTube channel at Be Our Guest Podcast, because we're going to be going live from the cruise ship. Also subscribe to the Facebook page. I don't know if you know, but the Facebook page for Be Our Guest Podcast, we have over 11,000 folks over there that have liked it. If you like that, you get a notification when we go live. So again, just go to Facebook, Be Our Guest Podcast, like that page. You'll find out when we go live, and we're going to do that from the cruise ship. So like it over there and you'll get that notification. But yeah. So what's it called? Don Donkey? I forget the name of it.
Don Donkey.
Yeah, see,
I remember. Good memory. Yeah, like our Instagram handles too. We're gonna be sharing so much stuff.
Yes,
It's
it'll be
gonna
all
so much
over.
fun.
Yep. So just be connected, because we're buying the internet and we're going to make sure we use it once we buy it. I promise you. because we won't be like going through. We're going to be, broadcasting instead of scrolling the internet. So it'll be fun. All right. Also, join us over in the clubhouse. That's where we posting a lot of stuff as well. brguestpodcast.com/clubhouse or /Discord, whichever you like. Takes you to the same place. It's our Discord channel. We'll be having fun over there. All right. Time to get out of here. We'll have all the shows this week. Going to be a lot of fun. So until we talk again, for Scott, I'm Mike, wishing you a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.